Hi, Scott again, and in the last tip we spoke about what size of letting agent to go for. Avoid the big corporates if you can, go for the middle range ones. And in this one I'm going to explain who to target within that letting agency, who to speak to. So a tip that I always go for is always speak to the owner of the letting agency. If you can, always push to speak to the owner, because these are the guys that are going to make things happen. Various reasons for that. If you speak to the owner, i.e. me, and say, I've got this concept, this will help your landlords, then I'm more emotionally invested in helping the landlords. As the owner of the business, it's my reputation, it's my income, so I'm probably going to care about the landlords and the clients more than members of staff. Again, a general rule, but I can't think of any landlords I have that I don't want to do the best for. So if somebody comes to me with a deal like a rent to rent, even if I hadn't heard it before, and they pitched it to me that it was a good deal for my landlords, then I would be much more open to that. A staff member they don't really care if properties get let in general, so they might see a lot of work behind this, whereas I, the owner of a letting agency, is willing to do work to build their business, to make things work, to get the money in and fees. But a staff member isn't financially rewarded in any way for setting up a rent-to-rent deal as opposed to a normal one. So it isn't financially in their interest to put a hell of a lot more work in, maybe 3 or 4 times more work than putting a residential tenancy in place. So staff are less likely to go the extra mile, and staff are less likely to be financially involved, so it doesn't really matter to them how much money the agent gets. But if you take a good deal to an agent and say, I'll match your management fee, for example, then an agent's getting double the money for that, so they're going to be more inclined personally to go and approach the agent, the landlord, to give them that deal. The next tip, that approaching the owner and speaking to the owner and building that relationship is so important, is that staff tend to leave. So you might get a few through with staff, but they tend to leave, get promoted, not do it anymore. Build the relationship with the owner, and they should be there for the long term. Next reason is that owners, as a general rule, are more articulate and smarter than the staff, so they should be able to go and tell the deal direct to your landlord and explain it a lot better and more articulately. If you've got, and you happen to get through to a secretary and it sounds good, and they're a receptionist and somebody that's been in lettings for 6 months, are they going to tell the deal the exact way you did it to the landlord? Unlikely. They might then go and tell the deal to the owner, who then goes and tells the deal to the landlord, and there's various layers of communication here. So if you can speak to the owner, they're more likely to speak to the people that they're clients, and put your deals across in a more coherent manner. Next, following on nicely from that, is that the owners generally have trust. So I know 560 odd properties, we might have 300 landlords. The guys that I've dealt with, when I did my rent to rent, I phoned and says, hi Mr. Smith, Scott, haven't spoken in 3 years, everything's cool with your properties, by the way I have this. And they've said, Scott, if you give me the advice, I'll trust you, you set it up, if it's in the best interest of my property, I know you're not going to do me a bad deal. So I've built up the trust with a lot of the owners, so they pretty much don't need to know the deals. Now I always tell them the ins and outs of it and explain it fully, but they will go on my advice and they'll trust me. They might not build the trust from your property manager or reception type person that's phoning up. So owners generally have more trust and longer term relationships with the landlords. So another great reason to always try and speak to the owners of the letting agencies rather than any of the other staff. It's quicker, it doesn't have layers of communication where things could get missed out and the staff member wrongly explains the deal and then the landlord notices the deal's not what they thought it was. So there's lots of reasons to speak to simply the letting agent owner.